I need you to stop. I really need you to stop. I'm done with these sequels. I'm done with these remasters. I'm done with these, like, hey, it's been a while since this thing's come out. Let's make either a 3D version of it, a live action of it, or, hey, let me just completely ruin the original story of what this thing tell. Ugh! What I'm talking about is the recent things happening in Hollywood, game development, and all that. And this is something that I've been on before, but we're still continuing. I think it's been at least a year, or at least a very long amount of months since I've talked about this, and they're still hitting home with this. I understand that at first, things that are original are scary because it doesn't get a lot of traffic as the big names. If you stopped developing the big names every single freaking year, you'd give air to breathe for those originals. If you took time away from your Black Ops, your Modern Warfares, your Incredibles, and your Disney princesses, you'd actually have a market for all these other things. But you keep pushing at least one of these things to be major reoccurring things, and it ruins your future market. And I'm basically ranting this entire video. It's just, I would like to play something. If it's a Call of Duty, I would like to play another Ghost. I would like to play another Infinite Warfare, Advanced Warfare. You know, something that has a completely different story. We got new characters, get new mechanics. Like, you know, I'd rather attempt something new than get barf up of the last, like, 10 same things. I'd say Resident Evil is kind of a good concept. It's just, you have the first one's a basic, like the very generic shooting horror game. 2, you start adding a little bit of new mechanics, but you're still inherently going on the same thing. 3, you change the system a little bit. The 2 was mostly, hey, durability for weapons and all that. You return that back in 4, but 4 gives your character the ability to have, like, actual fighting power instead of just all shoot. And then also the atmosphere of all 4. First one being like a little manor. Second one being like an entire city. The third one being the same city but in a different like route, and you get to see another side of the story. 4 is a whole like village that's like hidden away. I think 5 and 6 were kind of the meh, but they're kind of like the ones who like jumped the shark because they were starting to get very popular and they knew it. 7 is when they're like, okay, we need to tone it back down to like Resident Evil 1 and 2 and bring back the horror, and they bring it back hard with like biometric, well not, it's like they use like DNA problems. Instead of it just being a virus, it is this thing that makes it to where people are basically immortal as long as they have this fungus in their system. And it's horror, it's body horror. You don't know when these people are gonna come. It does body horror correct. And if you guys seen Wednesday's episode, which is horror scary, it's not nowadays, because they don't do something like Resident Evil 1 and 7 where they take a concept, actually like expand on it, make it use everything they can, instead of just whispering a little bit of some sweet something for you to keep watching or playing, and then like it's a very bland experience throughout. And 8 was kind of the mixture of everything, of just fantasy elements, virus elements. They tie the whole story together, but yet it also kind of gives you the idea of a lot of new like new and old concepts. Um, so I believe something like Resident Evil's like weird way of going about things is perfect for something like Call of Duty, but a lot of people like them and Disney, once they have something they know is working, they're too scared to get out of um, their bubble. So I think Matt Pat. It's either Matt Pat or um, Lee. I think it is. So film theory. They made a decent like idea of, hey, yes, release the big stuff, but make sure you're throwing little crumbs of new things in the middle, so that hey, I know you're gonna fail, but at least I'm releasing something fresh and new to the policy, and maybe that'll be your next big thing. Because Zootopia didn't come out of nowhere. Oh, geez, they had so many bangers. They've been doing a lot of Dark Souls stuff, and they know what they actually have on their hands, but they don't return to the stuff we actually want. They just have a Toy Story 5, a Moana 2. I absolutely hated Moana, but I guess they're doing a live action and a sequel. But anyways, it's just you're saturating the market with stuff that I will most likely not see, and I will most likely just see little clips to figure out what the whole story was about in the first place. I never watched Toy Story 4. I just watched like clips and I'm like, oh, okay, so basically Woody is losing his main character status, wants to fall in love with Bo, finds Bo, they make a whole bond, he has a way to move on, and the toys are dealing with this new life situation, and basically it's like a Toy Story 2 or a 1, and 1 to 3 I understand, that's the like the life cycle of a kid, but 4 is basically the life cycle of a toy, and it doesn't feel right. The only thing I cared about was Woody's leaving. That was it. So literally the end of the movie is all I cared about. And I think that's a lot of things I play and watch nowadays. And it's mostly for the content, or I want to keep stuff relevant. But a lot of game series need to take upon things like Among Us and Lethal Company. Those two things are from indie developers or like very small companies, and they've become so big, so well known. Everyone knows what it is. It's kept relevant by kids and streamers and YouTubers, but you don't do anything that those people do. You just want to do this vomit that may not have anything of the original and is a cheap remake. And one of the faults that I will say for this is the remastered Modern Warfare trilogy. I'm spitting a lot of BS, but look at that. I loved the original trilogy, and they ruined its life cycle because you had to redo the story and make me absolutely hate Modern Warfare as a complete series, because now you've rewrote that soap dies in the dumbest freaking way. You make it so Ghost is a meme instead of a BA that goes out very sadly, but I don't know what to say. I just want something new, and I don't want it to come from an indie developer. I love those guys, but I'd like someone like Sega or Nintendo to step up their game for once, because all of this stuff is just, it's something to fill time, but it's not a good time. Thank you for not keeping me bored, but also no thank you for not letting me have any emotion on your journey of this. But anyways, I gotta get going. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.